don't think that it's a controversial opinion that Yareli is one of the most useless warframes in the game. One of, at least. However, I haven't seen many good ideas for how she should be reworked. I wanted to give my opinion on how Yareli should be changed to make her, uh, you know, playable in actual content. I'll just jump into it. So the first ability that I want to talk about is Aqua Blades. As it stands, it's plain and simple. You cast the ability, it lasts for the duration, it deals slash damage. It's not even that impressive of slash damage. The way that I would change this is I would make it a deployable ability that you can place up to 3 of. So you place them around the map, and they all have blades that orbit them. But the important thing is that it's a deployable that you can place around the map, or you can place it on an ally or on your board, which I'll talk about in a second. Or, of course, you could hold the ability to apply it to yourself as it currently stands. The second ability that I want to talk about is Marulina. The way that I think it should work is that it's sort of like Korra's Verini, or Viridi, to have it as like a summonable companion that fights alongside you until you mount it. So basically it functions, cast the ability to summon it, you can recast the ability to command it to group enemies with a sort of whirlpool attack, which will like group in enemies in a short range, but then also affect enemies affected by your bubbles at a greater range. And then of course, as it's just wandering around with you, it would be attacking and dealing cold damage. And of course, attaching an Aqua Blade to it with the like dispenser idea would mean that as it's going around dealing cold damage, it would also be dealing slash damage with the Aqua Blade. Next, the Sea Snares. I think they work pretty well as of right now. I would increase the amount of maximum bubbles that you can have. I would make it so that recasting the ability extends the duration on already trapped enemies. Final thing that I would do was I would make it so that it has a synergy with your Aqua Blade dispensers that dispenses one bubble from each of your Aqua Blade dispensers. And that way you can group enemies into your Aqua Blades. And like I said, the grouping ability of Marulina would affect enemies affected by your bubbles in a greater range. Now the last ability, so the way that I would change this is I would make it a duration-based ability that no longer groups enemies itself. You place it on the field, and then you group enemies with Marulina as the like recast ability to get enemies into it. And then I would remove the damage increase per enemy and make it so that enemies affected by Riptide have their status effects cleansed from them. And then for each stack of status that is cleansed, it increases the cold damage that Riptide does. And of course, as it is being changed to a duration ability, it would be changed to more damage over time. And finally, her passive. Her current passive is pretty good. I mean, 200% critical chance for all secondaries as long as you're just moving, like that's a steal if it was literally any other warframe. But having to use Yareli for this passive just isn't worth it. The way that I would change her passive is I would make it so that for each stack of cold an enemy is affected by, they take increased slash damage. That would give even more synergies to her other abilities, as well as just incentivize applying cold and slash together. Because as it stands right now, her kit doesn't really work together in any particular way. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not too complicated, I think. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And yeah.